We start in San Francisco, where face-to-face diplomacy is underway to offer global leaders within the APEC framework the chance to unite under their common economic interests. That being said, President Yoon Suk Yeol managed to engage in a short trilateral interaction with his Japanese counterpart and U.S. host Thursday afternoon. Our senior presidential correspondent Oh Soo-young reports.
The leaders of South Korea, the United States and Japan stood shoulder to shoulder in San Francisco, demonstrating their confidence in their trilateral cooperation, with Seoul and Tokyo's bilateral channels 100% restored, according to President Yoon Suk Yeol. Yoon on Thursday briefly met President Joe Biden and Prime Minister Fumio Kishida on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit, while posing together for a standalone photo session. That marked the first time the leaders met in person in 3 months since their Camp David summit in August. A Seoul presidential official told reporters that the leaders held private talks for about 10 minutes, sharing optimism on the progress of their trilateral cooperation. Yoon and Biden also held a separate conversation discussing their domestic politics, economies and employment conditions. The frequent gathering of the three leaders reinforced the spirit of their Camp David agreements, which aim to bolster the rules-based international order and together enhance regional security and prosperity based on their shared values of freedom, human rights and rule of law. The three leaders held a similar impromptu meeting during the G7 Hiroshima summit in May, after the Korean and Japanese leaders had restored their so-called shuttle exchange of visits to Seoul and Tokyo to improve bilateral ties over long-standing historical issues, including Japan's wartime forced labor and sexual enslavement of Koreans. On Thursday, Yoon and Kishida held a separate summit in San Francisco for about 35 minutes, agreeing to further enhance their bilateral exchanges between youth and cooperation on global issues such as North Korea's security threat, the war in Ukraine, and the development of the global south.
올해 정상을 비롯한 각계 각급에서 교류가 활성화되고 정부 간 협의체가 복원돼서 양국 간 협력이 심화되고 있습니다. 상반기 안보정책협의회 경제안보 대화에 이어서 지난달 외교 차관 전략 대화까지 재개되면서 지난 3월 방일시 합의한 모든 정부 간 협의체가 이제 100% 복원이 됐습니다.
Noting they had met for the 7th time this year, Prime Minister Kishida said he felt reassured that Seoul and Tokyo were working closely together amid the rapidly changing geopolitical dynamics.
We have been initiating bilateral cooperation in diverse fields, including political relations, security, economy and culture. I hope to further develop this course of cooperation.
As the geopolitical rivalry between the US and China raises concern in the Indo-Pacific, South Korea has been aiming to revive a trilateral summit with Japan and China within the year to promote regional peace and cooperation. A Yoon official said a separate bilateral meeting at APEC between Yoon and Xi Jinping has not been confirmed, but is under discussion, after the two leaders held a brief conversation of about 3 to 4 minutes on Thursday, meeting for the first time in person since the G20 summit in Indonesia last year. Oh Soo-young, Arirang News, San Francisco.